I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Naperville Park District Board of Commissioners. Today is May 9th, 2013 at 7 p.m. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Jackie, will you take the call?
President Young.
Here.
Vice President Janner.
Here.
Commissioner Egan.
Present.
Commissioner Heidi.
Here.
Commissioner Ori.
Here.
Commissioner Riley.
Here.
Commissioner Todd.
Here.
The next item on the agenda are matters from the public. Jackie, has anyone signed up to speak?
No.
Okay, we'll move on to the updates and reports. The first update is the Riverwalk Commission update. Commissioner Heidi.
Thank you, President Young. The Riverwalk Commission met on May 8th. The Commission is nearing the end of its fiscal year, and its budget spend down is reflective of this fact. The operating budget is 87% spent, and the capital budget is 83% spent. The majority of the meeting was consumed by discussion of the South Extension proposal. It was decided that bicycles should be excluded from the South Extension, just as they are from other portions of the Riverwalk. Additionally, accessibility issues are a major concern, and access to the low walk was discussed. It was decided that further study relative to efficacious alternatives to a switchback ramp is needed. Finally, the recent flood caused significant damage to various areas of the Riverwalk. Cleanup has begun in earnest, but further planning is needed to avoid extended downtime should another 100-year flood occur in the near future. Thank you.
The next update is the Finance Committee update, Commissioner Riley. And Commissioner Riley, could you please use the word efficacious in your report?
I'll try to incorporate it appropriately. Thank you. Thank you, President Young. The last meeting of the Finance Committee was held April 17th, 2013. The staff provided an overview of the district's fixed income portfolio from 2005 to the current allocations. The district's current portfolio is comprised of certificates of deposits, fixed income securities managed by Sawyer Faldudo, money market funds with IMET, which are collateralized at 110%, and operating funds on deposit with BMO Harris Bank. Staff's review of our current mix of roughly 1/3 each in CDs, money market funds, and fixed income securities in the current interest rate environment produced some interesting findings. First, with current CD rates at approximately 35 basis points, the IMET money market rate of 34 basis points is virtually the same but offers greater liquidity. Secondly, the fixed income securities segment managed by Sawyer Faldudo is yielding approximately 92 basis points, or more than 2.5 times the rates on CDs or IMET. Therefore, based on the district's cash flow needs in the current interest rate environment, staff recommends increasing the amount invested in fixed income securities through Sawyer Faldudo and continuing to keep funds on deposit with IMET. Staff is already authorized by the board to invest up to $10 million with Sawyer Faldudo, but wanted the board to be aware and supportive of the strategy. The Finance Committee supports this approach and appreciates the advanced communication. Staff then present an overview of historical equalized valuation amounts and tax levy information, including the most recent update of the city's EAV for 2012. As expected, the EAV of property within the city decreased by 5.6%. Staff reported that the 2012 district audit is complete and the audit went very smoothly. In addition to a clean audit opinion, there were no adjustments or management letter comments relating to operations. The one management letter comment related to GASB 61, the financial reporting entity, it does not apply to the district. The next meeting of the Finance Committee will be held Wednesday, 5/15/2013 at 10:30 a.m. in the Administration Building. Thank you.
The next update is the Legislative Committee update. Commissioner Heidi.
Thank you. Commissioner and fellow Legislative Committee member Mike Riley and I traveled to Springfield last week for the Illinois Association of Parks Legislative Conference. The conference was very well attended and was highly informative. Additionally, we had the opportunity to meet personally with all of our local legislators, and we exchanged information and ideas related to the future of Illinois park districts generally and the Naperville Park District specifically. We also managed to get over to Joe Rogers for some firebrand chili, and we both agreed that it was delicious. We continue to be keenly interested in the Illinois concealed carry legislation, the Stormwater Management Bill, amendments to the Prevailing Wage Act, and the Affordable Care Act. I will report on developments as they occur. Our next meeting is scheduled for June 3rd at 9 a.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Heidi. The next update is Parks and Recreation Committee. Commissioner Todd.
The latest meeting of the Parks and Rec Committee was April 22nd. The work continues on the platform tennis initiative. Staff continues to meet with individuals who are interested and involved in this activity. The committee also discussed the 2014 capital improvement projects. This was discussed at our last workshop and will be further discussed on our capital projects tour. Other items included changing the program refund policy and the Riverwalk Eagle Scout project. These items were also presented at the workshop. The committee reviewed recent program registration and participation numbers. As presented at our last workshop, revenue numbers are up 1% from last year, and participation is up 3%. From a facility standpoint, the 95th Street Center has been and continues to be very successful. We also spent some time talking about the flood and impacts on our fields and the beach. And that's it.
Okay, and next is the Golf Committee update. Commissioner Todd.
All right, the Golf Committee met on April 15th. The committee discussed the upcoming window replacements for the Springbrook Clubhouse. I understand that is to start tomorrow. We reviewed the revenue numbers for the simulators that were utilized at Springbrook over the winter. The revenue was small, but it's the first year of operation. We'll continue this activity the next few winters and see if there are improvements in both participation and revenue numbers. We also reviewed revenue and expenses. The numbers are down compared to last year, but it's still early in the season, and the weather has been less than desirable until just recently. Marketing reported that they're looking into a Keep Pace program. They'll also be advertising our tournaments and golf lessons through info at the Pro Shop counters. The naming of the driving range at Naperville for Glen Eeke will take place this Saturday, May 18th at 11 a.m. Everyone's invited to come out and celebrate this occasion. And the next meeting of the Golf Committee is going to be May 20th.
The next update is mine. 3,004. It's the number. 3,004 and counting. That's the number of extra hours of labor that resulted from the 8-inch rain event that we survived on April 25th this year. That is the equivalent of 1.5 years of full-time work for one person, and we are still counting. We don't have the calculations of what this means to us financially for the Park District. There is the opportunity for insurance reimbursement for contractor and overtime work, and while the financial impact is certainly a concern, and we will report out on those figures when they are collected, what I do want to draw your attention to today is what this says about the Park District staff from a commitment perspective. 3,004 hours in 2 weeks. Let me tell you what was accomplished in part during those 3,004 hours. Sandbagging, of course. Removal of debris and mud from trails and parks that was left by the receding water. The beach was drained, it was power washed, the main pump and controls were replaced. Along the river, many fences were damaged, mulch and plantings were washed out. On the ball fields, the infields were washed out, some of them, and new infield mix was replaced. Certain playgrounds were flooded, and those were cleaned and disinfected with bleach. We also had some equipment issues. Elevator controls at the beach and Carillon were damaged, and many retention ponds overflowed their capacity, damaging the pond aerator pumps and the controls, as well as the irrigation pump at Commissioners Park. That rain occurred only 2 weeks ago, and yet to me it seems like it's a distant memory. I was relatively unaffected by it. But I can't imagine if I had managed 3,004 extra hours of work. I just want to say thank you to the staff for their many long hours of hard work to restore our parks to the condition that we have come to expect and which serve the community so well. So thanks so much, staff. And now, Executive Director McGurry.
Thank you, President Young. I would echo those comments. Having been in public service for over 30 years, certainly the true measure of a person is not when things are going well, but when they're not going so well. And certainly you'll see in my executive update that, when we do our update each month, that Samara goes ahead and posts. I will talk a little bit about this, but having a look in the eyes of the employees at 1 o'clock in the morning as we're sandbagging behind the administration building and pumping water, and many of those employees have been here since, I don't know, Kevin, 5:30 the previous morning. It truly is amazing, the commitment that staff has here. And so I echo those comments, and again, I thank the park staff, the rec staff, staff in general for just a job well done. Unfortunately, like I say, we're getting the 100-year flood now every 2 or 3 years. So expect to, hopefully we won't get one for another 50 or 60 years, but probably won't be so lucky. Anyway, a couple things here. Registration is currently in progress for summer camps, summer programs, and fall Naperville Youth Soccer and Premier Soccer. Please visit our website to view information on all the upcoming events and programs for all ages and to register online. Some important upcoming dates and events. Through Monday, May 13th at 5 p.m., residents can purchase their 2013 Centennial Beach Pass at a reduced rate. This is also the deadline to purchase the 2013 Friends and Family Passes. Next Saturday, May 18th, is the grand reopening of the Meadowglen's Park, which is going to include a ribbon cutting ceremony, activities, and refreshments. That's going to go from 9 until 10:30 a.m., and then we're all going to run from there, or drive, to the Naperville Golf Course, where we'll have an event there, which will begin at 11 a.m. to dedicate the driving range to former Park District Executive Director Glenn Eakey. There'll be a brief ceremony, followed by some fresh refreshments as well. On May 25th, Centennial Beach opens for business, and barring any little tricks from Mother Nature, but you can see if you go by there now, we're probably 3 or 4 days away from it being filled, give or take. But filled the right way, as opposed to, and I think I may have mentioned that little factoid to you in an email, that it takes generally 6 days, 3 hydrants going full-time to fill the beach, right around there. During the raid event, the beach filled in less than 6 hours. So we got a little help from the river, but, and what was the size of the fish we pulled out of there?
It was a carp that was approximately about 8 pounds.
There you go.
16 inches long.
We have fish tacos now at the Centennial Grill that we'll be serving. Sunday, June 2nd, Frontier Kite Fly Festival, a free event for families and kids of all ages, will be held at the Frontier Sports Complex from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then finally, I had the distinct pleasure of attending the Naperville Area Chamber of Commerce Leadership Institute graduation this past Tuesday. I think we are now upwards of 20 people that have graduated from this program. We graduated 6, and they are Jennifer Herman, Peggy Pelkinen, Christy Solberg, Jeremy Link, Brock Atwell, and Brett Lindahl. It's a 6-month intensive program. Every one of these people that I mentioned are busy, real busy, and yet we're able to take the time, attend the sessions on Fridays, and certainly I think it's a worthwhile program, and we will again send, I'm not sure we're going to send 6 next time, but we'll probably send at least 2 or 3 to keep that culture at the Park District here going with leadership. So congratulations to them. That's all I have.
Thank you. Moving on now to the approval of the Treasurer's Report.
Move to approve the March 2013 Treasurer's Report.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Jackie, take the roll.
Vice President Janner,
Yes.
Commissioner Riley,
Yes.
Commissioner Egan,
Yes.
Commissioner Heidi,
Yes.
Commissioner Ori,
Aye.
Commissioner Todd,
Yes.
President Young.
Yes. Next is the consent agenda. Are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda?
Move to accept consent agenda items A through F.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Jackie, take the roll.
Vice President Janner,
Yes.
Commissioner Riley,
Yes.
Commissioner Egan,
Yes.
Commissioner Heidi,
Yes.
Commissioner Ori,
Aye.
Commissioner Todd,
Yes.
President Young.
Yes.
Move to approve consent agenda as accepted.
There's a motion and a second. This is a voice vote. Any discussion before we move on? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Moving on to unfinished business.
Move to approve Resolution 13-03, recognizing the Naperville Park District's support of and participation in the 3rd Annual National Kids to Parks Day
a National Park Trust initiative.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. I'd like to read the resolution. Whereas May 18, 2013 is the third National Kids to Parks Day organized and promoted by the National Park Trust. And whereas this special day encourages people of all ages to get outdoors and visit America's parks. And whereas the Naperville Park District also encourages recreational activity to promote health and wellness in its community and beyond. And whereas National Kids to Parks Day and the Naperville Park District's 140 parks provide access to outdoor recreation and the opportunity to broaden people's appreciation for nature and the outdoors. And now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Park Commissioners of the Naperville Park District, DuPage and Will Counties, Illinois, that on May 18, 2013, the Park District will participate in National Kids to Parks Day to encourage activity in all of its parks, in addition to celebrating the grand reopening of Meadow Glens Park. Approved this 9th day of May 2013. Jackie, take the roll.
Vice President Janner,
Yes.
Commissioner Riley,
Yes.
Commissioner Egan,
Yes.
Commissioner Heidi,
Yes.
Commissioner Ori,
Aye.
Commissioner Todd,
Yes.
President Young.
Yes. Now we'll move on to new business, which will be the oath of office administered to the newly elected commissioners. Is there a script? There's the judge. Okay, sure. We are pleased to introduce Honorable Judge Neil Cerny of the 18th Judicial Court, who will swear us in.
All right. I'll do it that way. All right. I just wanted to say before we start, I've been a 25-year resident, raised 3 kids here. Love the Park District, so thank you for your time and your efforts as a citizen. I think you guys do a great job. Not as a judge, as a citizen, I said that, right? All right. If you could raise your right hand, and if you could repeat after me, I state your name. Do solemnly swear and affirm. That I will uphold the Constitution of the United States and the state of Illinois. And that I will faithfully and honorably discharge. My duties as Park Commissioner. To the best of my abilities. So help me God. All right, congratulations.
Okay, well, if I was a more understanding president, I would allow people to make comments, but there's a Hawks game, so we're moving on. Future meetings. The next regular meeting of the Board of Park Commissioners is May 23rd, and that's at the Administration Building. Are we listening? That's at the Administration Building. Jackie will remind us. And that one is at 5:30. That's May 23rd at 5:30 at the Administration Building. Okay. Moving on then, the first one in June is June 13th, and that's here in Council Chambers. And then the second one in June is June 27th, and that one is at the South Maintenance Facility on Book Road as normal at 6 p.m. Executive session.
Move to adjourn to executive session to discuss land acquisition under 2C5 of the Open Meetings Act.
Second.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Jackie, take the roll.
Vice President Janner,
Yes.
Commissioner Egan,
Yes.
Commissioner Heidi,
Yes.
Commissioner Ori,
Aye.
Commissioner Riley,
Yes.
Commissioner Todd,
Yes.
President Young.
Yes.